First of all, the first part is Deuteronomy 6:3-5. The second part is Leviticus 19. So you love God. So you must love his law. How do you love somebody?
Here we go, folks.
You love them by telling them the truth, not by confirming or affirming their sin. And it says, by the way, Miss Rachel, you might want to crack open that Bible of yours. In a lesser referenced part of the same part of Scripture is in Leviticus 18, is that thou shalt lay with another man shall be stoned to death. Just saying. So, Miss Rachel, you quote Leviticus 19, love your neighbor as yourself. The chapter before affirms God's perfect law when it comes to sexual matters.
One issue I think that is so against our senses, so against the natural law, and dare I say, a throbbing middle finger to God, is the transgender thing happening in America right now.
Like a fraternity guy and a sorority girl at age 19 hooking up, both 5 drinks in at 2 a.m., and all of a sudden she like removes consent. Yeah, like that's a murky middle gray area. And excuse me when I say...
She still removed consent, did she not?
Okay, but again, the point is that it's so materially insane to think that 1 in 5 American women will be raped in their life.
It is, I agree.
No, meaning that they're lying about being raped, that they're lying about being sexually assaulted.
You believe that people lie about being sexually...
All the time.
So, you know, it's funny. I used to say that, hey, if you as a gay person would go to Gaza, they'd throw you off of tall buildings, right? Now they don't have any tall buildings left, so I don't... Is that too soon? I'm sorry. Maybe you shouldn't kill Jews, stupid Muslims.
A lot of people are going to be saying Happy Juneteenth. It should not be a federal holiday, and I'm on my way to work. Have a good day.
Spiritual battle is coming to the West, and the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. Not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these 2 threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it.
Yep. You had a daughter and she was 10 and she got... And she was going to give birth and she would... No, wait. Oh, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her... baby.
That's awfully graphic.
It's no, but it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So that's insane. Comparing abortion to the Holocaust.
Absolutely I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse.
In fact, I even think that we should bring back, public executions on certain people. No, but think about it. I think that, and you guys should laugh, it should be public, it should be quick, it should be televised. By the way, you could fund the government
kids to watch it.
You could have brought to you by Coca-Cola, and no, I'm not kidding. By the way, I would totally tune in to see some get their head chopped off. And you know what? I want to watch that execution. That'll make my day better.
Shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder. I'm sorry if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Why is that?
A certain skin color now gets their own summertime celebration. Oh, wow, look how far blacks have come. It has now become a racial complaining day.
Blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. That's not a war on drugs, that's a culture problem. Why are so many blacks committing murders outside of their population?
We note in our piece that Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. And Kirk self-described very, very radical view that the country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true. As we note in the piece, Kirk has previously described Kirk as a hero and a civil rights icon. It's true. I used to be wrong. What inspired Kirk to shift his view on MLK? Why does Kirk think that MLK is a bad guy? When Kirk says that MLK says, quote, one good thing he didn't believe, what does he mean by that? Why does Kirk believe passing the Civil Rights Act was a mistake? Now, again, apparently they don't listen to the show because we do that at least once a week, right? Once a week we talk about why the Civil Rights Act was a mistake.
This is the first time in American history where we now have 15% of the whole nation that was born somewhere else. We are not a nation. We are increasingly just a temporary meeting place. I'm not just talking about illegal immigration. We have way too many legal immigrants coming into this country too. 1.5 to 1.6 million legal people coming in. So what do you have in common with your neighbor? When you have people that are dressed like they're right out of Saudi Arabia, that's not America. Assimilation, it's just not. And then they feel entitled. They say, well, you can't attack us because you're racist or all this. No, I don't care the names you call me. And now if 1 in 7 of the people in this country, 1 in 7 are born elsewhere, you're no longer a country. By the way, that doesn't even count the people that are the children of immigrants. That doesn't even count the people that are speaking other languages rather than English. Operation Wetback. We need a better name for it, but we need that today. And I certainly looked, but this is the hijack her where these blacks trying to go rob her happening all the time.
This is feminism. You as women should want to be provided for. In fact, you should have an expectation that you as a woman are so important and so critical and so necessary and beautiful that it shouldn't even be a question. The male mind is wired different than the female mind. Men will never be as good at counseling or psychology sessions as women. Men will never be good at nursing or elementary school education as women. We have certain giftings as our brain is wired a certain way.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
According to the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, apparently about 1 in 5 women experiences
This is
rape.
complete garbage. Just so
It is not.
Want me to prove it to you?
How is it not?
If you guys, if 1 in 5 women experience sexual assault or rape,
Yes.
then we would have the same levels of rape as the Congo. Okay? I want you to
Is that
understand-
not possible? Like,
No, it's not just impossible. It's like pathologically insane to believe that 1 in 5 women, that we have third world levels of violence,
so
sexual
shouldn't we be
violence and
doing
rape.
something about that then?
No,
like,
meaning that the report.
I fail to see
no,
how
meaning
you're
that-
like
no,
you're discrediting something
wh-
instead of just acknowledging that it could genuinely be true. Like
no,
two things can be true
it's,
at once.
It's not even close to being. Just so we're clear, it's that there. It's like 1 in 5,000. It's not 1 in 5. Okay. No, the idea that 1 in 5 women are raped or sexually assaulted in this country has been so disproven. In fact, they
Says
say, well,
who?
Let me prove it to you.
Because we have lots of stats. This is actually on the lower end. I've heard higher stats. This is on the lower end.
Let me prove it to you. If they say college campuses are rape culture because 1 in 4, 1 or 5 women get raped. If that's the case, why would women ever go to college campuses? Why would
because
parents...
they want an education?
No, hold on. It's more dangerous than going into the Democratic Republic of Congo. I mean, the point is that it's so materially insane to think that 1 in 5 American women will be raped in their life.
It is. I agree.
No, meaning that they're lying about being raped, that they're lying about being sexually assaulted.
You believe that people lie about being sexually... See,
all the
this feeds into what I was
all
saying.
The time.
This feeds into what I was
Brett
saying.
Kavanaugh
actually.
had 11 fake accusers. One guy, 11 fake accusers.
This feeds into what I was saying. Do you know why a lot of people probably don't report their sexual assaults and rapes?
Well, because there's a lot
they're
in the
not
gray.
believed.
There's a lot in the gray area. Alcohol's involved. It was consensual, and then it wasn't consensual. The girl
Consent
was.
can be removed at any time.
Okay. Again, now we're getting into murky gray area stuff, right? Where if you have two, like a fraternity guy and a sorority girl at age 19 hooking up, both 5 drinks in at 2 a.m., and all of a sudden she like removes consent. Yeah, like that's a murky middle gray area. And excuse me,
She
I say.
still removed consent, did she not?
Okay, but again,
if he continues to go onward with that encounter,
Again,
then he is sexually assaulting her.
Again, that is such an unfair categorization. Like, again, it's very case dependent, but like almost every one of these cases involve a lot of alcohol and a lot of forgetfulness and a
But
lot
what about
of
other ones that don't? Like,
and a lot of late
there's
reporting.
cases of marriage rape, and like people don't report those because of how much stigma there is. People don't. They don't want to.
I'm not doubting that rape happens. I'm contesting this ridiculous, outrageous
if you
statistic.
should get pregnant from these cases, and you said you believe that people should be able to get abortions in cases of rape.
No, actually,
yes, you did.
I said,
yes,
let
you
me
did.
say, I said, I actually don't believe that. I said, let me, for the argument's sake, say that. But I actually don't believe that.
I thought you said that you don't.
No, of course
you
not.
don't.
Because let me tell you,
you would make somebody carry their rapist child.
If I have 2 ultrasounds, I have an ultrasound here of a baby conceived in rape, an ultrasound of a baby from a loving marriage. Which one is which? Which one is which?
Wait. You would make
Make the baby live, yes.
You would make someone carry their rapist's child.
Yes.
Do you know how insane that is?
Oh, you know what it's like, how it's saying? It's like, you know what? I would make it so I can't murder my cameraman. You know how insane that is?
That wasn't even a pregnancy that they consented to. That isn't even something they consented to in the first place. And you would make them carry that? It's not even...
Human rights are not dependent on the method of conception.
To their body.
Human rights are not... Human rights...
They have to carry that child, and they were violated in the first place. Do you know how insane that is?
And then you're going to do a third wrong because of two evils. When does that always morally defensible?
What if you don't want the child? And like...
Just because you don't want a human being doesn't mean you get to murder that human being.
But your argument was based on don't have sex. You can't control if you are raped.
Again,
you can't control that, and you know that.
99.9% of the time, that is the case. Less than half of 1% of the time, it's still a question of human rights and human dignity, of which that human being deserves rights. Let me ask you a question. Somebody in this audience was conceived and raped. Do you know who?
No.
Because they're just as much a human being as we are.
That wasn't the argument I was making.
Because everybody deserves the right to life, regardless of how horrific or evil your method of conception is. I'm not justifying rape. I think rapists should go to jail for the rest of their life, maybe get the death penalty, and get castration.
But their victims
guess
should
what?
have to carry the child that they did not want.
I don't believe in giving the death penalty to an unborn baby because of what the rapist did. That in no way is morally defensible to say we should end a human life.
I don't know how it's morally defensible that you think it's okay.
Because life is special and beautiful regardless.
But you're taking away the person's right who has their body violated in the first place to make a decision about what they want to do from there.
Again,
that's two crimes on one. Like,
do you agree that murder is wrong?
I do, yes.
Okay, then we should stop murdering unborn babies.
I think it should be up to the person who has to carry the child.
Okay, again, that's not morally defensible in any category. Can I murder my 3-month-old because it's out of the womb?
No.
What makes it different than if it's out of the womb or in the womb? How is it more or less a human being?
That's still not the argument I'm trying to make.
No, it is. It absolutely is. The standard must apply equally to all human agency and action. We are talking about morals.
Right, so but you just said that they deserve the right to have their choice, right? Like that child deserves the right to be able to live.
Yes.
But you're also taking away the mother's choice.
Oh, no, yeah, you do not have the right to kill another person.
Right, but you're taking the mother's choice about what she wants to do with her life.
You never had that choice. You never had a right to kill another human being. That's what I'm saying. Fundamentally, the pro-life argument is at the core. You do not have the right to take another human life.
So you're like radically pro-life, as in like no matter who,
because I
even
believe,
in cases of incest, in cases of
all human life is special, made in the image of God, and we are called here to protect all life, regardless of the method of conception.
But you're not protecting the person who has to carry that child. That's a double standard.
But she still lives. She lives after birth.
What quality of life?
Okay,
it's not even her fault that she got pregnant.
Just to be clear, that is eugenics.
Now you have to have her entire life changed because of something she didn't even choose in the first place.
That moral standard is eugenics. If you say that you should be able to eliminate other human beings because it makes your life difficult, we could just kill millions of poor kids because a lot of moms are saying my life is difficult because of them. It is not a moral standard that can be applied to any other dimension. Thank you for your time. I have to get to another question. Thank you.